Hello, my name is Niklas Hjert, and I will give you a short demonstration of Water in Europe Today, which is a web application developed by the Swedish Meteorological and Hydrological Institute for the Switch On project. Well, what does WET do? WET visualizes data from any hydrological model. For now being it's EHYPE, a hydrological model of the European continent, developed by the SMHI hydrological group, but really any hydrological model with open data could be visualized. The purpose of WET is to give the user an understanding of how the current and forecasted discharge relates to historic discharges for any specific point in Europe. The application has two components. It has a map component, which is what you see when you open the application, and it has a diagram component. So the first thing you need to do when you enter the application is to choose your area of interest. You do that by zooming and clicking in the map. Let's go, for instance, we are interested in, well, let's say we're in Dresden. I would like to see the discharge at Dresden in the upper Elbe catchment. I click on Dresden, and what you see now is a highlight of the hydrological network upstream of Dresden. That is where the water comes from, but also it highlights the path of the Elbe down towards the Atlantic Ocean. And if you zoom out, you can see the coastal line and where the Elbe enters the Atlantic. Well, as you can see in this example, there is a lot of blue color in the maps. And the blue color means that discharge at a specific point is above normal or much above normal for this time of year. You can get some more information about this if you hover over the legend. You can see that the deep blue color means that discharge is above the 90th percentile for this date. If it's a more of a light blue color, it's above the 75th percentile for this date. If, on the other hand, it's a red color, light red means below 25th percentile for this date, and the deep red is below the 10th percentile for this date. So what does this mean? Well, to explain more of this, we need to see the diagram. So click on Show Diagram on the upper left corner, just below the legend. Now, the bottom edge of the screen is filled with a diagram of the selected point of interest. In this example, it's Dresden. It shows you the current and forecasted discharge with a solid black line, and there's a thin vertical red line indicating the present day, the 5th of June in this case. In the background you can see some light blue shades, blue lines, and this represent historic discharges at Dresden. Now you can see that for most part the black line is quite far above the blue shades, which means that for now discharge at Dresden is higher than normal for this time of year. The normal range is calculated from discharges between 1981 and 2010. Now, if we're interested in other points in the catchment, either upstream or downstream of Dresden, we can just click on any of the points and you will get a new diagram plotted for that specific point in the lower part of the screen. You could also click downstream of Dresden to see the discharge in Elbe. And the last thing I wanted to show you here is the time slider, which is in the upper left corner just above the legend. The time slider makes it possible to switch dates in the map view, so you can actually step through different days in the forecast, and you see on the map that it's actually drying up. A lot of the blue colors are disappearing, and we are entering what seems to be a normal range at the end of the forecast period. Also, you can see that the thin red line in the diagram moves when you click on the time slider and you move the time slider. It actually shows the corresponding date in the diagram as well. Now, the last thing I want to show is if you're interested in another area, you can change the point of interest by either clicking Change Area in the upper left corner of the screen, or simply drag the flag with the mouse and releasing it on another area, and you can start investigating the flow in this particular area. Thank you very much.